Welcome Formula One fans, we are back again in Austria for a second race, the Styrian Grand Prix. Today was a 2-free practice session and boy it was really interesting. It's worth noting that there is a potential heavy rain forecast for tomorrow's qualifying, so it is possible that the times that they set in FP2 that finished just a few minutes ago will be taken for the starting grid. So let's start again like we're used to, team by team, where everyone is at after those two practice and what can we expect for the weekend. Starting with, of course, the big winner from last week, Mercedes. Now those two practice, we were wondering, will everything be alright considering their gearbox issue last week and electrical issue? According to team principal Toto Wolff, everything is fixed from the data they got in FP1, but throughout both practice sessions, they could not manage to do the best time like we saw last week where they totally dominated. FP1 only 3 and 4th, and their best result, second place for Bottas in FP2. Lewis Hamilton not doing better than 6th during the second practice. So are they getting everything that they can out of the car, or are they thinking that maybe we will have a qualifying tomorrow and not showing all their cards? We have to wonder, but Mercedes do not look as strong as they were last week. So it will be very intriguing. Let's go with Red Bull. Red Bull look pretty much where they were last week. Maybe gained a little bit of an advantage. Alex Albon doing 6 and 7 in both sessions. And Max Verstappen doing the best time of free practice 2, meaning that if they cannot qualify tomorrow, Verstappen would potentially start on pole on Sunday. He also did a great time in first practice. So the Red Bull, still a little bit of a tricky car. We saw Albon spin in FP2 twice, once in the middle and once at the end. So it is still a capricious car, but they look strong again this week, and they could very well be challenging the Mercedes this weekend, looking at their lap times. Ferrari, have to wonder, they actually look worse than they were last week. FP1 10 and 12 for the drivers. In FP2, Vettel seems to have damaged the car in the gravel, could not manage better than P16. So if they cannot have a proper qualifying session tomorrow, it would be disastrous for him. Charles Leclerc, P9, best he could do in those 2 days also. They have many upgrades on the car that they were supposed to have in Hungary next week. They brought them already this week, and so far does not seem to be causing any miracle. Leclerc said himself he do not expect to be fighting with the top teams solely on performance. Those upgrades will have to bring something big. So sadly for Ferrari, I think it's going to be another tough weekend, and I would not expect Charles to be on the podium again this week. I don't think he will be so lucky. Mclaren, well, what can we say about them? I mean, they look strong again in the middle of the pack. Worth noting, Lando Norris will have a 3-place grid penalty on Sunday's race because he overtook under a yellow flag in FP1, so he's already starting on the back foot. But luckily, Zach Brown, team principal, said that it's no big deal, even though it's not ideal. But if that's the biggest mistake that Lando is making this year, I think McLaren is going to have a great run. So, yeah, time in the middle of the pack. Best for the team was a 5th place in practice 2 for Carlos Sainz. Norris got 8, which is not bad. but they are again in the mix for best of the rest. So it will be interesting to see. Racing Point, the big surprise for this practice session, look really strong. Sergio Perez got first position during practice FP1, and during the second practice that just finished, both drivers got P3 and P4, meaning that should there not be any qualifying tomorrow because of the rain, they would both start in front of Lewis Hamilton legitimately. So both Racing Points looking really strong. They are, I believe, the team to watch, maybe even fighting for a podium this weekend. So watch out, they look ahead of everyone else in the mid-pack, and yeah, could at this point maybe challenge Mercedes, who looked not at their best this morning. Renault, not the start that they hoped, I think, for this practice session. During FP2, Ricciardo putting the car in the tire wall early on, causing a red flag, so could not get a proper run and could not even actually do a proper lap, meaning that he would start last if there was no qualifying session tomorrow. The team will have to work probably all night just to fix the car, so that is not great. Though he did do a P9 in FP1, and Esteban Ocon pretty much where he was also last week. Best result at P10 in second practice. So Renault will gamble on their race pace to make up some time, and hopefully they can have a good qualifying tomorrow if there is one, and show what they are truly worth. But again, Renault starting on the back foot for this weekend, so let's see. It's gonna be nice to see what they can do. Alfa Romeo, again, tough weekend ahead for them. Could not manage to do anything impressive during those practice sessions. Best result 13 and 14 in second practice for respectively Raikkonen and Giovinazzi. They're trying to improve the car, see where they can improve. According to Kimi, they can improve around the lap. Again, pretty vague. But yeah, it's going to be a tough weekend for them. I don't expect them to be in the points. No big issues during practice. They were doing their thing, and yeah, just trying to gather more data. AlphaTauri, same. They look to be exactly where they were last week. FP2, 11 and 12. Last week they qualified 12 and 13. So again, it's going to be a rough weekend. They could be fighting for 1 or 2 points if they are lucky. But again, it's not ideal for them. It's going to be tough. But they're doing the job. Gasly did get a P8 during first practice, so we'll see. But yeah, AlphaTauri, nothing special, no big upgrades, just trying to improve on last week. Haas, really tough morning for them again. They want to do better than last week with 2 brake failures during the race. Did not start well for Kevin Magnussen, who had a battery issue early in FP1, so could not do a proper lap. He had to make up for it in FP2, but for both cars, literally nowhere. Grosjean 19, Magnussen 18 during second practice, not better than 16 for the 2 sessions, so definitely not at their best again. It's gonna be tough. So they have to just gather data and see what they can do. And finally, Williams, they had a promising weekend last week, almost making it to Q2. And we can see it again this week. They are obviously not the best team, but making progress. they had Jack Aitken, their reserve driver, taking George Russell's place this morning. And Russell back in the car this afternoon for FP2. Russell managing a P15 during his run. Nicolas Latifi, still gaining experience, did manage to beat both Haas during the second practice, which is good news for him. So we'll have to see. I think it's going to be, again, interesting to see. It would be nice to see George Russell making it to FP2. I think they have a real chance to do that this weekend if they can really get the perfect run, the perfect lap. And we'll see. Like I said, possibly no qualifying session tomorrow. Forecast of heavy rain. So stay tuned. Let's watch. We'll find out together tomorrow. And thank you for watching. Please like and hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment. What do you think is going to happen this weekend? Second race in a row at the same track. First time ever in Formula 1. So thank you for watching, and see you tomorrow after qualifying, if there is an actual qualifying session. Take care.